Good evening, everybody. I, Rajan Kataria, welcome all of you in the today's alumni talk on the behalf of OpenGeest Society, NIT Jalandhar. OpenGeest Society is an official society of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, NIT Jalandhar, and we organize several events, may it be related to coding, competitive programming, DSA. Recently, we organized Google Cloud Ready program, which was a huge success with the participation of around 1,000 students from over 40 institutions all over India. Today, we have assembled here for the alumni talk, where we have our alumni from different tech giants. And first of all, I would like to extend my heartful thanks to all the alumni for taking out time from their weekend and coming here to guide their juniors on a very short notice. So today we'll be having five of our alumni here. Uh, Mr. Prince Kumar from Google, Mr. Pratham Kohli from ServiceNow, Mr. Abhishek Kaushal from Optum UHG, Ms. Umang Sharma from Microsoft, and Mr. Arsh Goyal from Samsung India. Till now, we have two two of the alumni joined, and others will be coming here soon. So let us start with the introduction of Mr. Pratham Kohli. Pratham is a 2019 batch computer science and engineering graduate from NIT. He has done his internship from Indian Institute of Remote Sensing ISRO and is now working with ServiceNow. Now, I would request Pratham sir to please briefly describe their journey and experiences.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're perfectly audible.
Yeah, cool. So, hello everybody, I'm Pratham. As our organizer did specify, one correction here, I am a 2020 batch graduate,
Oh,
so 2016 to
okay.
2020. And I did my internship from Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, IIRS, which is a part of ISRO, right? And after that, I got a placement on campus in ServiceNow. So starting with the journey, okay, I'll try to quickly go through about whole process, how it did start. So when I did join our college, right? So I had zero programming experience, like literally zero. So here comes the second sem, and we have this language introduced to us, C. So I think I pretty much got a C in C, like most of our class did. I think it can be a B, but yeah, some on that. So what I want to tell you here is that it's all right that when you start something new, you're bound to fail. Okay, that's like perfectly all right. Like there's this famous quote also, right? If you're not failing, then maybe you're not trying enough or you're not trying new things. So it's all right to fail, right? But what's important is to get on a proper track. So, okay, now the second sem has gone by, the first year is over, and now we are into the second year. And hold on, can you people hear me or can you not?
You're audible, sir.
Okay, I just saw this message on no voice. Okay, so the second sem goes by, and we are here in second year, and we get introduced to this subject called DSA, Data Structures and Algorithms. Now pretty much I believe everybody must have an idea of that. We have everybody from here, right? First year, second year, third year, and final year, or is it first, second, third only?
We have 85% of the students from second and third year, and rest are from the final year.
Okay, okay, cool, great. Okay, so we get introduced to this new subject DSA, and we start a little on this, right? So at that time we did not have a lot of knowledge. So what we did was we started this Hacker Earth and Code Chef, and everybody had that hype. Oh my God, this is competitive programming, and you need to know this to get anywhere. Okay, so that was pretty much a dilemma which we faced in the beginning. Like going on this is my journey. Okay, So you can relate to this, you cannot relate to this, you can agree on some points, you may not agree on some points. That's perfectly all right. Right? So as myself, I was not a very huge fan of competitive programming, as they call it, CP. Right? I don't know, it never interested me a lot. But this data structures and algorithm part, like, really got me. Right? So yeah, as I was continuing, we did this Hacker Earth and Code Chef. We started it, but I did not like have a huge fan following for it. Right? I was not a huge fan of it. That's all right. You may be a fan of it, and that's perfectly good. That's just my viewpoint. Right? So now getting on, how do you get started? Right? So one thing which I'd like to say is learn one object-oriented programming language. You just need to know one, and you should know one nicely. Like get started with C and then move on to C++, or go for Java. Python, I do not recommend a lot for programming. Why? Because not all companies in their tests allow you to use Python. Right? C++, Java, C is always there. And how do you actually get started with data structures? We followed this book called Data Structures with C from Srivastava and Srivastava. Like that is what we did in our second year. So that is a pretty good start on if you have to start yet, right? So this is something which you can take up. Now, okay, our this second year is going by. We are learning a little on data structures and stuff, right? And then what happens is like we also take up this GFG. Now Geek for Geeks has a lot of craze, but it's a whole huge library if you have ever been there, and I believe everybody must have gone there at least once, right? So I still say a good start if you have to start yet is this data structures with C book, right? Like why? Because it is like it makes you understand stuff and it shows you how to implement them. So it is like what I'd say, it will make a good base for you to carry on other things. So do write it down like, yeah, this is a book. If you have to start, then go with this. Right? Okay. So now let's talk a little on like, okay, my second year has gone by and we're doing a little of Hacker Earth, a little of Code Chef, and I am doing this a little on GFG. So in our third year, we have our first company coming for us, this Microsoft, right? So I was able to clear their coding tests on whatever I've done before. So that all went good. And then they came in and we had our group fly round. Like if you do know about Microsoft, they have a group fly round where everybody is qualified. They give them a question. Everybody has to solve it. And then whoever, and you need to write code on paper, right? So if you do it well, then they take you ahead. Now they gave us this question, which I was seeing for the first time. And yeah, I pretty much got out in the first round itself. Now why? Because they, like the data structure which had to be used was try. And I was hearing that for the first time. I was like, okay, something like this is also present. I didn't know that. So that's all good. Okay. So Microsoft went by and we had two people who got selected in Microsoft. One was from CSC and the other girl was from ECE. Like they majorly came for hiring these, what do you call, freshers or our seniors. Right. So everything went by this way. And then we had a drought. Like companies did not come. Any named company did not come. And there were like some startups or yeah, like not, I won't say like some huge fan following coming, right? Like some companies who have a lot of the MNCs as you call. So nobody came by, and we normally have ISRO coming in like our last sem of third year, the sixth sem. But I think somehow it came in the fifth sem. Like the scientist there, Dr. Anil, he came to our college and said that okay, if you want to apply for interns, send out a mail to me, give me your resume, I'll verify it, I'll just go through it, and if I think that you are right fit, I'll probably offer you an internship. So I mailed him with my resume, and this is the 5th sem going on right now, not the 6th, because they came early. And ISRO is not somebody who pays you, right? It is a free internship, but you get that tag ISRO, and that's a pretty good one. So I didn't know a lot then, and what did our seniors tell us about internships was that you majorly do internships for two reasons. They told. They said one is that you get into a huge company, and after that you give everything you have to get a PPO. So that is a valid point for internships. The second they said was that, okay, yeah, we do internships for learning, but what you should try is that you get over with your internships quickly so that you have more time in the summer to prepare for your DSA for the other companies who are coming to hire for full time, right? So that is why ISRO used to come in the 6th sem. It came in 5th. I got selected. I was the first one who got selected in it. And yeah, that was all over for me. The internship thing was over for me then, because then I think I could not sit for any other internships because I got one. And there were already a lot of bloodbath because there were not companies who were coming, right? So this is how the third year went by, right? And yes. So now coming to the actual thing which started for me, like now we people knew that okay, we have our internship, and now we need to prepare for our this, what do you call, our full time offers. Like that is the big game, the end game as you would call it. That this is somewhere where you need to shine. So I had a couple of friends. What did we do was we charted out a plan, and I think like it's pretty good to have a group of friends who are all interested for the same thing, because then one keeps the track of the other person that okay, are you people doing it or not. So if you have a group, good. If you don't have a group, no need to worry, you can still make it through. So personally, the platform which I really liked and which I followed was Interview Bit. Now why Interview Bit and not Lead Code, right? So Interview Bit, if you have been there, like it covers all the data structures that we have, your arrays, your maths, trees, tries, blah 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 blah. It has like specific sections for them, and then you have questions in those particular data structures. What this does is that it provides you an overall view, that when you see that question, you're like, okay, I need to solve it with this, but maybe that if you would have seen that question for the first time, you may have thought of something different which would have not worked out. Now this is Interview Bit is recommended when you want to still clarify more of your concepts, right? So we went ahead with that because we wanted a little more exposure to the type of questions and the data structures we want to solve them, right? Now, so this pretty much worked out for us. Like I remember, like there are two modes over there: a private mode where you do not share your score, and a public mode where you share your score. So when I was done with my 2 or 3 months of, like, we had a target, we wanted to solve as many questions as possible and reach the end in 2 or 3 months. So when I did it, I think I had the most score in our whole NIT. Like we have that section where you can enter your college and see the scores. And then I put it down to private again. I was like, okay, I am doing good. That means cool. Now you do not need to top it. You just need to have a good clarity. If you think Interview Bit questions, like, now it all depends on the journey where you are. You can be early in the process or you can be a little late. For example, I did it in third year, like in our third, what do you call, summer vacations. You may already have a lot of exposure to DSA, and you may feel that this Interview Bit is easier, right? That's perfectly okay. Or you may feel that okay, Interview Bit is a little tough. It's all right, as soon as like as long as you get into the correct path. So if you feel that Interview Bit is easy for you and you have that kind of competence, what I would suggest is that you switch to Lead Code. Now why do I say Lead Code and not any other platform is because over here you get random questions thrown at you, right? It gives you more of a feeling of that test which you have to go through. You have random questions, you do not know what data structure to use, and you need to think from scratch with all the knowledge you have, right? And this is what happens in interviews as well, right? So that is why I would recommend that if you are you have that kind of a competence, go for lead code. If you still want to build more confidence and you still want to get more exposure to the type of questions, I would recommend interview bit. Right, we're clear on that. Okay. But now why do I say, like, why am I saying this again and again is because what I see over here in, like, currently the situation is that you do one platform, then you have that tendency that, okay, oh my God, somebody is doing code forces, I should go there. Oh my God, code chef, okay, let me try that. What I want you people to do is you take any one platform, but stick to it till the time you have not done like almost 90% of their questions. Stick to that platform. What it will do is, now I'll tell you the pros for it. What it will do is when you see that okay, oh my God, I've solved 50 or 70 questions, or I've solved 100 questions, I've solved 500 questions on this platform, it will give you a very good feeling that, okay, if I've done so many questions, then I actually know things and I can get it done. There's nothing to be afraid of. It gives you a good feeling when you see that thing. Right? So this is like a major pro, a major pro. What if you just solve 20 questions here, 20 questions on any other platform, and 20 over here some other? Now what can happen over here is that one, you do not have your tally on how many questions you have been solving. The other thing is that what question was present here, the same question may be present on the other platform, and you are solving the same question. That may be good for practice, but that will not give you exposure to the different type of questions we have. Right? So this is one con which I feel, that when you keep switching, you yourself cannot make up your mind on what to do, right? So you'll always think that, oh my God, I need to do a lot more, I need to do a lot more, and you will keep on churning. That's not good for your confidence at all. So stick to one platform and follow it till the time you are pretty confident or you have done everything there is to it. Now, if one platform is done, then switch to the next one. Like, that is an advice which I'd like to give everyone. Right? So now coming back to my journey here. So I was done with interview bit and I was pretty confident that, okay, if I had more time, I would have probably made the switch to lead code, but our August came and companies started coming in. So I had this thing a lot that, oh my God, I want to go to Amazon only. Like, Amazon is my dream company for that time because I knew Amazon was coming for us. Now, what happened with Amazon was, ideally, it should have been the first company which would have visited our campus. But due to some reasons, they were not the first one. Like, it kept on getting delayed. And you have to fill that form when you come in final year. You'll need to fill that form first that you want to sit for this company, and then they'll give you that coding test and all that. So I had only filled it for Samsung, and I did not do it for anybody else. Like, Samsung was the first company, so we sat there. So I pretty much cleared everything on Samsung, right? So Samsung was done, but I did not take that offer because obviously I told you I wanted to go for Amazon. I was crazy on that. Now what happened was, there were more companies coming in, but I was not filling the form. Now I'm not setting an example. I don't want you people to be doing it. It was something which I did. I took that kind of a risk, but I don't want you guys to take that kind of a risk. Get your security first. Get your one offer first, which secures you that, okay, you have a placement. Then go look out for better opportunities. That is always the more sane, SANE, sane approach to go with. And that is also which will, like, you'll actually have something in your bucket so that you are happy about, and you know that, okay, all this made sense. All this hard work made sense. So do that. So now what happened was, finally Amazon was coming, and it had to come on 16th of August. But like a week before, I think, or 3 or 4 days before, they said that, okay, there's a new company which will come to our campus for the first time, ServiceNow, and it had a pretty decent package. Like, it had almost similar package to Amazon, maybe 1 or 2 lakhs, a little lesser, I think. Yeah. So we said, okay, like, this is ServiceNow, and then we said, okay, let's give it a try. And I said, yeah, okay, cool, I'll go there. I will give it a try. And then I got selected in this company. So that is where my whole placement journey kind of ended. Because after that, I went into that chill mode, and neither did we have like so much going on that we want to go for this off campus, it was all chill at that time. Nowadays we have that craze that, oh my god, I need that offer, I need it on the off campus side. That's good, I'm not saying it's bad, that's cool, but that this kind of a craze was not present when everything was open, and it was not, everything was not virtual, right? So it's all right. So that is how, from like the first year, from having a C in C to actually bagging a good placement on 25 lakhs plus, that's how my journey went, right? So yeah, I think I took a whole lot time. Pardon me for that. I'll carry it on to Arsh, and then yeah, I have more points, but yeah, let's just listen from all the guests, and then we'll circle back. Right? Cool.
Thank you, sir. Next to this, I would be talking about the most famous senior which we have, Arsh sir. Arsh sir is a 2021 Electronics and Communication graduate from NIT. He is also the founder of Coding Club NITJ and the first DSC lead in our college. He has done his internships in IIRS, CodeChef, and currently he is working as senior software engineer at Microsoft at Samsung, sorry. And apart from this, he also runs a YouTube channel with more than 33,000 subscribers, and he has more than 51,000 followers on LinkedIn. Over to you, sir.
Hi Rajan. Hi Rajan. Just let me know if my voice is audible and you can
Yes,
see
yes,
me.
sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So thank you so much, first of all, to everyone who gave me the invitation for being here. Thank you so much, Pratham sir. I was listening to what he said, so it was really very inspiring. So coming upon to my journey, I'll not take much. Like most of the points have been covered by Pratham sir, like related to your doubts, related to internships. I would want it to be more interactive. So we'll take the doubts at the end when all the speakers are done. So just giving a brief about me, my name is Arsh. I have passed out recently. I'm a 2021 graduate from electronics and communication background. And I talking about some of my technical expertise. I have been doing data structure algorithms. I have some projects in machine learning. Apart from that, I have been exploring various fields like product management also, and a lot more stuff I have been doing throughout my college. Um, Talking about some of the things like you might have heard of a college community known as DSC. So that was something that we set up in the college. Apart from that, I have been the part of various other student communities and have been guiding a lot of students. Currently also I have been active on social medias like LinkedIn, like YouTube, where a lot of people have like talking about interview preparation, talking about tech and all things. This is something that I have been doing. Also, currently I'm taking classes on a platform known as Unacademy, that is by CodeChef. And yeah, this is something that I'm doing right now. Along with that, I'm a senior software engineer at Samsung. Talking about some of my internships that I did one internship in Samsung only, and I received a returning offer. That was the pre-placement offer. Also, I had offers from companies like American Express and Lowe's group of companies as a full-time engineer. So both of Lowe's India as well as American Express was off campus, and Samsung was an on-campus intern turned to a pre-placement offer. So this is pretty much it, and have had a great time being a part of such an institution. And I want all of you, like as I can see the stats of this year's placement. So if you are from 23 batch or 22 batch, so for 22 batch, like almost 50 to 55% students are done with their placements on campus. So that's a very good number. Like it's just a month that the placement started, and you have a lot more to explore, a lot more opportunities. You're at your home, so try to utilize that time. You have a lot of things in hand, lot of opportunities in hand, and until and unless you come back to campus, it's up to you how you utilize that time. Whenever you are in campus, if at any point of time, try to enjoy as much as your college life that is left. That is something I would like to advise, because most of your time has been there at your home. Just 1.5 years you have spent in college. Similarly, for the batch of 23 also, I know companies are less for internships, but definitely it's not just that internship matter. What matters at the end is how like the final placement that you're getting, right? So even if you're not getting internship, I know the opportunities are very less. Like if I talk about from 2021 batch, so there were total 30 students who got an internship out of a batch of around, maybe if we talk circuital branches and CSE, it's 230 to 250 students. So only 30 students were there who got an internship at a good company. So, and from batch of 2022 also, the stats were similar. So for 2023, I can see the numbers are booming up. So try to get the, like, if it's possible for you, try to grab that. Do make as many tries as possible, but keep preparing, keep hustling. That is finally going to, like, your final placement is going to matter. So that was all from my end. Thank you so much, Rajan. Thank you so much, the entire team who has been conducting this. I hand it over to the next speaker, and at the end we can have a Q&A session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would be introducing Prince, sir. Prince is a 2019 computer science and engineering graduate from NIT. He is currently working as a software engineer at Google India. Previously, he has also worked with D. Shaw and Amazon. He also represented himself in ACM ICPC regionals in the year 2018 and 2019. And now over to Prince, sir.
Hello, hello everyone. Am I audible right now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, first of all, thanks for giving this opportunity, and I'd like to interact more and more with the students. For the intro part, like you have almost said everything, I guess. So, uh, utilize the time, and better practice will take more and more questions, and then I think that would be more much better part.
Sorry to disturb, sir, but your voice is cracking in between. So Prince sir is resolving the issue. Till then, we just move on to the Q&A, which the students have just filled in the Google Forms for the registration of the stock. So I would like to hand it over to Devansh for the questions, and he will be asking questions to the speakers. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Dimash, you're audible.
Okay. So I would like to ask the presenters a few questions which have been given by students via Google Forms beforehand. So I would like to ask Arsh sir first question. So Arsh sir, students are asking to how to approach the companies offline if your branch is not allowed, like how to grab the off-campus opportunities if your branch is not allowed on campus.
See, if your branch is not allowed on campus, there can be different ways. Firstly, make a list of target companies that you wish to apply for. It's not just Microsoft, it's not just Amazon, it's not just Google that you're targeting for. There are many better companies apart from these companies that should be on your target list. If I talk about some of the packages of startups, like you might not be aware of, startups are paying even more than these fan companies. If you talk about ShareChat, if you talk about SMS Gupshup, if you talk about Razorpay, if you talk about Cred, So all of these are having packages more than 30 lakhs per annum. So this is not being given by any family, and the in-hand salary for them is also great. So the first thing is you should make a target list of companies that you wish to apply for, and like these startups will not see whichever degree you have, whether you're from mechanical, whether you're from chemical, all of you will be eligible for the process, right? So first thing is that target or keep all these companies in your target list. It should not be that you're only specifying two companies that should be on your target list, so that is not going to help, right? Secondly, talking about companies like which don't allow you on campus, so there are different other processes. Like nowadays hiring process has been changed for many companies, so there are hackathons being organized by these companies, and most of these hackathons are branch independent. So you don't need to be specifically from computer science or electronics. If you can be from any branch, and you can grab a very good placement. Very recent, I was talking to somebody from our campus only. He is a mechanical pass out 2022 from your batch only, and he has grabbed a data scientist role at Ola. Ola is a very good brand. He's getting a very good package, and although he's from mechanical, so he has been selected for a full-time role at Ola. That was through off campus. So maybe you can try to be active on platforms like LinkedIn, try to as I said, make a target list of companies. You can even, like, for small startups, you can even start with cold emailing. That is also going to help. So cold emailing the founders, or cold emailing because the company size is very less in small startups, right? So if you're aiming at just starting with a tech role, after that switching is quite easier. Like if you work in a company for 1.5 year, then that your branch tag is not going to matter. So maybe you can work for that startup maybe for 1 year, 1.5 year, and try switching on. So that can be one route. These are some of the things, and there's much more to explore. There are opportunities all over. So maybe you can get in touch with recruiters. You can get in touch with HRs on LinkedIn, and so these are some of the ways that I would suggest. And don't just limit yourself to the acronym of FAM. Don't just limit yourself to the companies that you know. There are a lot more companies. There are opportunities abroad. It's not just India. A lot of things are there. So it's up to you. Try to talk to people. Try to talk to as many people as possible. So that is going to help. Like if like you're attending this session, right? So you are gaining the perspective of 3 to 5 people who are working at these companies. So if you are talking to like maybe some people on social media platforms like LinkedIn or so that is going to broaden your perspective on what other opportunities are available. Even if you're not interested in coding, like people are there who are not interested in coding. So there is a very good field of product management. Even companies are hiring BTech graduates as product managers. So that is something that you need to explore. And yeah, this is something that I would like to say.
Okay, thanks, Arsh. This actually pretty much clears. So the next question is for Prince sir. So, Prince sir, there is one question. What is the correct approach towards competitive programming?
Yeah, so there's nothing like a very like perfect roadmap for this. I would say like how things started for me is just like during my college times we were a team of three, so we started giving contests because we wanted to take part in ACM ICPC. So in the first contest, like it was not very great experience that in the first go we have solved a lot of questions. So it just came with practice. Like in the first go we gave the contest, then like we were able to solve half of the questions and half of them we were not able to solve, then read editorials to it. So I think the best approach is not keeping going, like instead of going through the theories again and again, it's better to get hands on the actual questions. Like pick any platform of your choice, whichever you think is better for you, or the main part is the website is good for you, which the editorial of the questions which you're not able to solve, you are able to get what the author is trying to explain there. So whichever site suits you based on the editorials, I think you should go with that. And try to give more and more contests, and that will help you better analyze which portion is lagging behind for you, or on which areas you are not up to the mark, or the others are performing better than you, so that you can work on that. And whenever you identify one such area, there are tons of resources on Google. You just have to hit one enter button on the keyboard after searching this. So I think, yeah, that's the suggested approach. Instead of like in our batch also, like everyone thought like it's better to go through the entire data structures and algorithm course and read all the algorithms. So, but I would suggest start working on the problems, working with the problems. Then you will understand there are multiple approaches to solve a single problem, and in that manner, even you will encounter some problems, and your thinking will increase so high that you will not actually think that you're actually working on an algorithm which you have never thought of working. Like the first question which we solved, we thought it's just a recursion. Then after we came into third year, we came to know that it's called depth first search. So yeah, I think it's better to start with the problems and then narrow it down to the actual topic on which you need to work.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks, Prince sir. So the next question is for Pratham sir. The question is, what is the path to crack the big MNCs for both circuital and non-circuital branches?
Okay. So this is one question which we get asked a lot, that how do you go into Microsoft and versus how you go into some other company which is not so renowned. So one simple answer is, except Google, I'll say that every company has the same preparation you need to do for. You need to have your data structures cleared, right? You need to nail those things down. It's all about that, because say your interview is going to revolve on two things, mainly two things. One is three things. One is data structures, one is CS fundamentals. Those will be static questions, right? And the other is your project. If you can explain data structures and your project in a very simple manner such that the interviewer gets it, I don't see how is it different from how you need to crack Microsoft or Cred or ShareChat or any other company you specify, except Google, because Google has it has a lot higher standard, as we all know. I think Prince sir can tell us a little more on that. But yes, except Google, I'd say for all the circuital branches, non-circuital branches, all the MNCs, all the non-MNCs, the whole flow remains the same. You need to have your data structures nailed down. I'm saying it again. You need to know how to explain your projects in a way that the interviewer understands. You need to know the ins and outs of your project, because your project, like, you never know how the interview is gonna go. The interviewer can ask you only projects and not touch DSA at all. That has happened with me. I'm telling that with experience. And how does that conversation go such that you go into the next round is that you know everything about your project. What decision choices did you make, if you had to make any? What problems did you come face to face with, and what were the possible solutions, and which solution did you choose to go for? Why did you go for it? All these questions. What can be done better? What can be improved? Can it be implemented in the real world? Right? All the questions which you have explored a little, right? I am not saying that you need to know design as in all that, okay, I need to scale this application right now and I need to build it for 1 million users. That is not what I am pointing out. What I am pointing out is that you should know the ins and outs of your project such that you can explain it. So barring that, these things, everything remains the same. Barring Google, for all other companies, the process will remain the same. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thanks, Pratham sir, for answering this question. So I would like to ask Arsh sir the next question. So Arsh sir, what kind of projects should we do and using which platform, like Android or web development with the latest frameworks?
Okay. So if I say particularly we are talking about internships or talking about placements, so companies are not expecting you to have a very great project or something out of the world. So even if you have good projects, like let me just give you an example. So people generally build clones, right? Instagram clone, or maybe let's say a LinkedIn clone or something. So these clones, so what value you are adding to that particular project, that matters the most. So you should be able to justify that, what, like, why you made this project, so what value addition it is doing to somebody. Maybe your project should be useful to the society, or maybe it is solving some particular problem. So that shows your thought process ki, like how you are thinking. You're thinking of a problem and you are building a framework to tackle that problem. So because you have to engage your interviewer for maybe 5-10 minutes into the prospects of a project completely, ki why you are building that project, what all things you have done, and what are, how you are going to scale that project. So while explaining a project, you should have these things in mind, ki you can be asked the questions based upon the scalability of the project, how in future you're going to take that project forward. Next, you can be asked something about the tech stack. So do mention whichever things are relevant to you. Don't write anything that is out of your knowledge. Even if it's a group project, mention your particular role in that project. And I would not specify that web is good or Android is good or AR VR is good. So, like, it's up to you. Try exploring. Like, if you're in your first year, so you can explore web also, you can explore Android also. So go by whichever technology excites you. But you're not expected to be good at all. Just be good at one. Uh, that is going to take you forward. Like I've seen people who are very good at Android, so they don't know about ML or web. So they are also going, like, they have been into great companies. It's like people are there's a lot of hype around machine learning or data science, but I can see people who are into machine learning or data science, but they can't go into the very depth of these things because that involves a lot of mathematics and computing. So you as a fresher won't be able to go into that depth. But if somehow your interviewer is very good at ML, he's a data scientist at that company, so that might hamper your like interview during that time. So try making sure that go try to pick one field and go use depth first search and explore that field. And your project should be like I was talking about Instagram clone, right? So what value addition can you do in Instagram clone? Like, I know there is an Instagram, I have built an Instagram that is having these features that are not already present in the already built Instagram. For example, maybe I've improved upon the security, I've improved upon some other features, maybe a parental lock I have introduced or something. So you can add some features to the already available clones, and these type of projects can be there. But yeah, in general, there's nothing like I wouldn't give priority to either web or Android or any other technology. It's you who have to explore. Like nowadays, AR VR is at boom. I can see, like, going to different hackathons has given me an exposure key. The project that we as a mentor or an individual see, that is based upon AR VR. So that looks exciting because people haven't seen. We have already seen websites. We have already seen Android projects. So if something is going on with the new technologies like AR, VR, or maybe some projects in blockchain, so that also can give you an edge. But it's yet to explore. Like, it's up to you which technology you pick up, and try to make sure that you're good at it. Right?
Thanks, sir. So the next question is for Prince sir. Even Rahul is asking that in chat, and this was one of the most asked questions as well. That how can one person, crack Google, especially if final year students are going to try to apply for Google. So, like, you can say what is the roadmap or what is the path to crack Google.
Yeah. So for college grads, Google conducts this Google Kickstarts. I think there are a lot of rounds in a single year, and like based on your rank, they will automatically, like, there are some recruiters especially for hiring university graduates at Google. So they keep an eye on the rank list of the Google Kickstart going on each year, and for every round basically, and especially the rounds which are held during the time of October, November. They are like, they give a very high priority to them. And like if you score a very good rank, most probably you are getting a call, irrespective of your college. It doesn't matter. You can get a call being in a college which is not even heard. So NIT is also like, now you are an IT brand, so obviously you will be having an edge over others. But yeah, so the point which I'm trying to put here is the resume doesn't matter a lot in this case, but there are a lot of ways to apply at Google. even without Kickstart, you can apply on the career space, and they receive a tons of resumes every year. So if you are like not going by the route of Google Kickstart, then resume matters a lot, and resume building is a separate skill. um, you need to give really a good amount of time on building a resume in order to portray yourself as a very extraordinary person. Like, you need to sell this yourself, right? So you need to put every extraordinary thing whatever you have done in your life till now. That's why, because there, if you have just put that I have done this project or that project or this competition, every people, whoever is applying at Google, have the same thing. How the recruiter select 1 out of 1,000 to go ahead with the interviews? Because these are resources. Interviews take some time of the Swiss working there. So resume building is one of the crucial steps if you're applying offline without Kickstart. And coming on the interviews part, so the rounds and all are almost similar. Like, you will be firstly getting a phone call with the recruiter, in which she may ask, or he may ask some basic questions like the time complexity of some bubble sort or merge sort, or which is the best time complexity you can achieve for sorting algorithm, and couple of things like, what is there in vector, why do we need that, something on those lines. But it's a very, it's not very tough, it's very easier. Who is applying for Google, there's nothing super crazy about those questions. After that, there's a screening round in which you will be interviewed by an actual software engineer working at Google. The location doesn't matter. Like, you are like, whether you are interviewing for India role or Singapore role, or even um, the Mountain View role, Sunnyvale, it doesn't matter, because the interviewers can be from anywhere in the world. So that would be a 45 minutes interview. If you work very nicely or perform nicely in that interview, you will get to the on-site rounds. Otherwise, even if like there are few things here and there because of which you lagged, and the interviewer thinks that you have performed well, it's just that you got confused a bit, so you will be given next chance for the screening as well. Otherwise, you will move to a on-site round. On-site round is around 5 rounds of coding rounds back to back in a single day. This becomes really hectic on that day. But yeah, overall, this is the uh, whole and sort process for that. And in order to practice this, so they are not asking you to do competitive programming. Like, people have this myth that you need to do competitive programming in order to do that. Is that they want that whatever problems you see, especially in the interviews of Google, they are not very known problems. By known problems, I mean, is it's very much you'd like, you must have been lucky if you have asked a problem which you have already seen before in the interview. For mine case, it was not like that. So mostly you will be given a very random question, even the question which will not be very clear. Like, even you need to ask some questions to the interviewer to very firstly clarify the questions. So they very strongly look into your problem solving skills. So if you are good at your algorithms and you know how to crack a problem, this is what they require. They are not asking you what rank you are having in code safe or code forces, or have you did CP or not. It's not like that. It's just that they want a good problem solvers. If you are that, it's fine. It's just that when the people do this competitive programming in college, they have an edge over others. Obviously, like, if some people has done projects in the college, right, and some people have not, even if, like, because they have done every time the CP thing. So when they will go into company, obviously the people who have done projects in some languages, they must have been like, they must be having some edge over the peoples who are working on CP, C++ every time, and when they come on the actual real world projects, it's completely different from what you did in CP. So it's just that the edge, the CP people gets an edge while cracking the interviews, and other people get the edge while working actually at the company. So the main thing is, whatever you do, every question, try to understand every bit of it. Don't just think that this is the problem, you just solved it. You need to understand what the problem requires and why this is the only solution possible. Why, if there's thing like this DFS works, you need to understand why BFS doesn't work here. because they are going to ask you some questions. And time complexity is also one most important thing. They will keep on bugging you about the time complexity. I remember one of the interviews in which I need to like fill the entire board with mathematical calculations to reach the final time complexity. So things can go like that. So that's pretty much.
So there is one question from Aman in chat, that how to make the resume so that it gets shortlisted when we are applying for offline, in Google as well. So I have heard so many rejections in the resume shortlisting only. So can you answer that?
Yeah. Actually, resume building process is I told it's a completely new skill, and I think if I start talking about it, it will take most of the time of this meeting. So you either first go on. There are a lot of resources on internet how to build resumes. It's just that put yourself in a manner that others value you. Don't just put like I worked on a simple project. Like I remember the first resume which we built was we have one person who have built the resume like very early before the internship placement. We all take his resume and just copy pasted and remove the projects which he or she did and copied it with ours. So it's not like that. You need to properly, your resume should ideally reflect a timeline, like, and the project should be very much clear. Like just don't put very much technical aspects of it. Try to focus on what impact you have made. The impact matters a lot. So this is the nutshell. Your resume should be impactful. Now it depends on you how to make it impactful. There are tons of resources on the internet. Maybe we can have a separate session. Otherwise, Arsh will have a separate video on his YouTube channel. So I think that will help you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. So the next question is for Pratham sir. It's, is lateral hiring easy compared to joining as a fresher?
Okay, now what do you exactly mean by lateral hiring here?
So lateral hiring in the sense that when you are going to switch later on in your career, so is that easy, or joining as a fresher is easy?
Yeah, I think Arsh answered it, but I'll reiterate that. See, when you like, obviously it will become easier when you are into the space. Then when you want to make the switch, it will become easier in a way that you will be considered, right? The data structure aspect or the system design aspect does not become easier. It is only going to level up. But what becomes easier is that you start getting considered, that okay, this guy has 1 year of experience, or this guy has 2 years of experience. I should probably hire him instead of somebody who is a college graduate, like who is a college fresher. He does not have any experience if they are applying for the HD1 role, right? So yeah, definitely lateral hiring becomes is a better choice to go if you cannot find a very good opportunity at the start, because you also come into the space and you actually start seeing that how things are working out. Maybe you went into the company saying that okay, I have to switch, but you liked it so much that now you do not want to switch. So that's also a very interesting aspect. So yeah, lateral hiring becomes easier this way, that you start getting considered, but then you start getting system design, which I think makes up for whatever was left.
And Prince sir, what are your views on this? Like, you have actually made a switch.
Yeah, so there are a couple of things. So the first thing is moving out of your comfort zone. I think making up your mind to make a switch is the most critical part, because in your companies, if you're getting everything right, good hikes and good promos and everything is sorted over there, then it's become very difficult to just switch, even like switch from a company with completely different tech stack. Because I made a completely different switch, because like DSO and trading firms are some low latency trading firms where you work on C++ and very rigorously, and things doesn't work how it used to work in product teams, product based companies. So first you need to come out of your comfort zone. The second is you need to know in and out of everything you have done in your company. Basically, your experience matters a lot. You will be asked a lot of things based on your experience. Like, even though I understand a lot of things are confidential, right? But if you cannot answer to every question that this is confidential, they will ask very generic question like why, what was the reason for doing such thing or so thing. So you need to give the gist of your what you have done, and then you will be asked a whole bunch of questions based on experience. So experience matters, but it's not like you have done you have 1 year of experience or 2 year experience then it become easy. It's just that you need to prove what experience you gained with. It's not like going in the company and sitting, right? So you need to you need to prove what have you done in this 2 years or 3 years. And yeah, when you come out of comfort zone, obviously you get this motivation to prepare for that. You need to manage your projects, ongoing projects and all. So that's a completely different story, but I think this is a thing. And obviously people switch. There are a lot of reasons to switch. One is like they completely want to change their domain of work because interest changes, and and money also not matters a lot sometimes in the future when you are working. And the other thing is money, obviously. Because of switch you will get a good hike. So these two things because of which people switch. I think that's all.
Thanks, Prince sir. So the next question is for Arsh sir. How to network with industry people on LinkedIn or otherwise?
Okay. So, I would say LinkedIn is a very powerful platform. It has not yet been explored fully. Like, even if I talk about our college, like when we started putting content on LinkedIn, I believe I made my first post when I was in my fourth semester. So I was not very sure because I didn't see my seniors putting something on LinkedIn. Like it was just a platform that was something where you can go and network people. Like I was told that it was a platform where you can go and take referrals. This was the definition of LinkedIn that I thought of. Then I started putting posts. Like I was involved in in a lot of communities, so we used to get like I used to speak at events. I used to get some swags. So during those times, so that was the major focus. Ki, I'll get a photograph clip. I'll put it on LinkedIn. So I made some of the posts, and after that, I would see ki that gave me a lot of chance to talk to different people from different colleges. Like whenever you put a new post on LinkedIn, you are sure to get around like now it's the different scene, but during that time it was close to 50 100 requests of like-minded people, like who want to know more about them, who want to know more about my what currently I'm doing and what they have been doing. And also we can learn a lot from them. Like now the thing is different. Like it was a long journey. Like I have been putting content from quite some time, so now I have reached a point ki, like I have stopped accepting connection requests. It's just the follow button that is there. People just come and follow, and the connections are going on and on and on. So that has given me a lot of exposure. Like I have talked to amazing number of people. Like people do come and inbox their queries, and we can also talk to a lot of people. Like you won't believe that if you make a good LinkedIn profile, you will be getting direct messages from recruiters ki I have this role at this company, so would you like to interview with us? So this will be the scene when you make an optimized LinkedIn profile and network with people, right? So if you showcase whatever you have, like LinkedIn is a platform that where you need to showcase what exactly you have. Like it is the main selling point, I can say. Like there's a shopkeeper who, in order to sell his uh, uh, goods or something, he has to present it in the best way. So LinkedIn is kind of that platform in which you need to present yourself in a better way so that you can sell yourself as much as jitna tum sell karna chaho, that much you can sell for. So not only that, but you get to know a lot, like about a lot of different things that you're not aware of. Maybe like I was not aware of a lot of companies. I heard the name of many of the companies for the very first time when they visited my campus for internships, right? So now like have been constantly following like-minded people, so now I can say that I even know the process of that company, these many rounds it will take, and this flow it will continue. And I have this like if you name a company, I'll get you people in touch with, like, I know this person from this company, I know this person from this company. So that thing is going to help me. Maybe in future, if I want to make a switch, so I already have 3 people in hand. They are already working in this company and they would be the best person to advise me. Or maybe if I need referral for that particular company, so I can easily ping in them whenever there is an opportunity. Or like about the overall work culture of that company, how the things are going, should I, well, all the decisions that you want to take, that are going to help you by any means through this platform. And try to make it useful in any of them. Like, I have seen my friends, like from the batch of 2021, many of them have got off campus opportunities through LinkedIn. Maybe either the recruiter contacted them or they contacted the recruiter and directly the interviews were capped. So try to put in as much as possible. Your profile should look good whenever somebody visits, so he should see something in your profile that and you can get different opportunities. Also, you can get to know about which all things are there. Like during our time, I was not aware of many of the programs by different companies. Like if you talk about Google, also they have their different program known as Step and Turn that you can get in second year only. After getting that step in turn, you are given an opportunity to intern after your third year, and after third year you are getting a pre-placement offer and a final offer at Google. So that's a very good pathway. Like in your second year only, you are connected with, you are doing an internship at Google, and finally you are getting another internship offer and a full-time offer. Like all of these companies are having programs for second year also. Like you talk about JP Morgan Chase, they have their Code for Good hackathon that is conducted for second year people. You talk about Microsoft, they have their Engage mentorship program to which they're directly giving internships to people. So that's an easier pathway, I would say. And you constantly get in touch with a lot of people. So try making yourself aware of these opportunities. I was not when I was in my college. So it's about you, how you take this platform as an opportunity to know more about these and gain as much exposure as possible. Right?
Thanks, Arsh sir, for your insights on this question. So the next question is actually an open question, which I would like to ask the panelists. So there's a doubt from Kajal Kumari. What should be the suggested approach for beginners for problem solving if we aren't able to solve much questions without seeing hints or solutions? So anyone like Pratham sir, maybe Prince sir?
Okay, so I just say it's like I told you in the start, right? It is all right. When you start something, you are not considered a master. Like neither are you expected to solve everything in the first go. When everybody of us started, me, Arsh, or Prince sir, we were not able to solve all the questions. Like Prince sir did mention, right? When he went for his first competition, they were not able to solve all questions. You're not expected to do that. When I started it, I like everybody had this kind of, what do you call that, click, that when we don't see anything happening, we close it. That was the case with us also. I used to sit down for Hacker Earth or Hacker this, what do you call, Code Chef, and when I could not solve those questions, I used to close it and like, okay, this is not for me. But it's a part of the process, right? You need to keep coming back to the problem again and again and again. So like we mentioned, for data structures, start with the book. First see all solutions, then try to code them yourselves. Or then try to explore more type of problems you have. So this thing will only go with practice, right? You do not have any quick fix to this. You'll need to solve those problems. You'll need to keep brainstorming. And maybe your logic was correct, but you could not code it properly when you see the logic, right? So that's all a part of the process. That's all gonna happen, but you need to keep coming back to it, right? If Arsh or Prince, you'd like to add.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered a lot. So whenever you attempt these questions and like mostly you're not able to solve a particular kind of a question, it completely means that you're not aware of that concept. So I'm not sure about other platforms, but Codeforces have this interesting feature where whenever the contest ends, this problem is tagged with different tags. You will see tags. And if you are not able to solve a problem and most of the time you are seeing the same tag, it means you need to read about that topic. So firstly, Google it, and like, or any book you want to refer, just understand that concept first. then see few problems related to that, and then mostly you will be able to give a hit the next time when you're observing a similar kind of a problem. I think that's the best possible way in which we can solve. And the other thing is how we can get motivated to do CP. So CP is completely a different thing. It's not like everyone needs to do it. It's kind of an sport. It's just like a basketball. We enjoy watching people playing basketball, right? So people are interested in doing CP in that 2 hour or 3 hour contest, rank list going up and down. So it completely depends on you. And in order to get motivated, think about the swags which you will get after the end of the contest. I have a huge bundle of like around 10 t-shirts, and that used to keep motivating me to do more and more such contests. So I think of the end, then obviously you will be motivated, and keep practicing and practice in the right manner. You will always heard this thing, keep practicing, because it's the only way out. There is no shortcut to it. But the thing is, how you practice matters. So follow the proper guideline as shared by all of us. Yeah.
So the next question is, what are the do's and don'ts for an interview? So for this question, I would like, all the three panelists to give their views, starting with Prince sir only.
Uh, yeah. Okay. So the first thing is, it it can happen. Obviously, like when you are targeting very different companies who have this trend of asking very tricky questions, be it Code Nation, Google, or any other things like that. So mostly you will, the first time when the interviewer asks you this question, you may get blank at the question. So don't get like frustrated or just say that I can't solve or start asking for hint. Just go through the questions once again, then repeat the question to the interviewer so that it helps you in identifying that both of you are on the same page. Take some example, then it will then mostly a problem must be a mix of 2 to 3 independent problems. Try to identify that and solve them, and mostly you will reach the solution by the end. And keep talking. I think that's the most important part. Keep talking while you're solving a problem. In that way, mostly the interviewers, like even we will become sometimes on that and not on that part of table. So I was interviewer while working at Disha. So when people keep on telling whatever they are thinking, right? So we understand every bit of the thinking process. So we can, like when we analyze that you are going in the wrong direction, we will give you hints so that you can be back on the track. So that way it helps. And I think that's the best possible way when you are asked a very random question which you don't even know about. And don't try to think of, like if the same if a similar problem even comes to you. So most of the people try to like think what they have solved, like how they solved the same problem, when they have solved this during their college time or in a previous contest or something like that, or some friend asked them then how they used to solve that. Don't try to think of the past thing. They give this new question a fresh thought, start afresh, think every bit of it, and then discuss, and mostly will reach the solution. And even if it don't reach the solution, life is not an end, right? So you can keep getting these interviews a lot. Companies are not going anywhere, and keep doing this.
Arsh sir, your views on this question?
I guess Prince sir very well framed what are the do's and don'ts. Basically, the most important thing, as he already mentioned, you need to be interactive. It's not about that you're just he gave you a question, you took 1 or 2 minutes. Like it's a good thing. Maybe you can think for 1 minute, maybe not much time, but think for a minute, and then start interacting with the interviewer, telling your approach. Maybe you are wrong at that point, and interviewer might help you with that so that you can get on the right track rather than spending 5 minutes on paper and pen and thinking about a wrong approach, and after that you come to know that all my time is wasted, or maybe you haven't understood the question well. So try making sure that you understand the question well. And like it's good to ask questions like in the beginning. If you are not clear with the question, make sure that you make yourself clear with the question. All the things should be clear, then only you can approach the solution, right? That is one thing. And try making sure that like you don't be adamant at one point. Try to be as flexible as possible. It's not like that you know that this question is to be solved by this way only, and you are adamant ki, "Nee, this is the only correct way. I have done it in the best possible way." Try to be flexible. If the interviewer is saying something, so try to accept it and move on with the interview flow. It's no use being adamant at that point, right? So maybe this can be one of the do's and don'ts. And also make sure that you don't like, it's not the matter of which language you're speaking into, but because I have seen like people are very good at programming, they have very good rankings on competitive programming platforms and all, but they're not able to present themselves during the interview. So try to make sure that your presentation skills are as good as possible. So you can maybe plan on a mock interview with your friends, so that is going to help. Like the students who are sitting for the very first time for their internship, so for them going on and sitting for Microsoft interviews is something that can be pretty new as well as challenging also. So if you have given maybe 2 to 3 mock interviews with your friends only, so that can give you an idea ki what kind of situation you would be during your actual interview. So that is going to maybe boost your confidence, and that can help you present yourself better. Like your friend can tell ki these were the points that I felt were wrong, you can improve upon these. So maybe next time you are improving upon these points, and you are good at presentation, right? So this is something that I would like to add to what Prince already said.
Okay, thanks, Harsh sir. Pratham sir, your views on this question?
Okay. So according to me, right now, for me, like this is my personal opinion. When you have practiced everything, you know DSA, you know your projects, the eventual game lies in your interviews. If you can be the best problem solver in your college, but if you do not know how to communicate with your interviewer, and you do not know how to put your thoughts in front of him such that he understands, there's no use of it. He will not hire you. You have the best solution with you, but you cannot convey it to somebody sitting in front of you. That's absolute waste. Why? Because you have such a beautiful mind, but you cannot present it. What's the use of it then, right? So for me, the whole game lies, after you've done everything, the whole game lies how you present yourself. So one tip, like Arsh also covered it, Princer also covered it. Don't, if you're seeing a question, don't start coding that, okay, I'll write the code. The interview recognizes it that, okay, you have seen that question and you're writing it from your memory. Also, one more thing which happens is that when we see some question that is similar, and we get very excited that, okay, I know this. Now, so I'll do it. Your brother is going into the next round, bro. But what this bro needs to understand is that interviewers are not dumb. Maybe they have changed one thing in the whole question, and you have not covered that case, right? So when you see a new problem, try to understand it, reiterate the question to the interviewer. If you have not understood it, the interviewer will not kill you. Ask as many questions as you have to until you clarify, okay, that what you are thinking is correct. What the interviewer wants is this. Then, yeah, like Princer said, keep on telling whatever you are thinking. Think out loud. Whatever you are thinking, present it to the interviewer. He'll know where you are going, where you should go, where you should not go. Some interviewers will provide you a nudge that, okay, maybe how will you handle this case, or maybe how do you go along this path if this comes out, so that you know, okay, that maybe you're going wrong. And if you're going right, maybe they'll say that, okay, all right, keep going. So one thing which, yeah, like again, this adamant point which Arsh mentioned, what it means is that when you're adamant, is what it eventually is that you're cocky. You're very, there's a very thin line between confidence and getting arrogant. When you think that, okay, only this is the solution, right? This is the end game. This is the only solution that is possible. That is when you become arrogant. And that will cost you your interview. Because the interviewer sitting in front of you is not only evaluating your this skill that, okay, you are able to solve questions. He's also evaluating how will you fit in their team, right? Like I can go on and on for interviews. Yeah, but I'm posting a lot of content on LinkedIn for the same reason. So maybe you can check that out. right? You can hit that follow button or the connection request, and maybe I can help you out a lot more, because this will go pretty long if I start. So yeah, these were some bullet points that I'll mention everybody, that yeah, maybe do these things and do not get arrogant.
Okay, thanks, Pratham sir, for your insights on this question. Now I would like the attendees that they can raise their hands so that they can ask the questions directly to the panelists. But first, please raise your hands.
Yes, Simanta, you can go on.
Hello, everybody. Hello, sir. Actually, I am an EC student in second sem. Just the third sem. I mean, promoted to my third sem. So, as a third sem student and a beginner coder, so how should I plan my road to get multinational companies or big companies so that I get success in my life? You could guide me. Hello. Am I audible?
Simanta, your voice was cracking in between. Could you repeat your question?
Okay, okay. Actually, I am a third sem student uh, from EC branch. So, as a third sem student, I am just new to Python and computer C++ languages. So, if you Harsha can guide me as an EC, he's also an EC student to get big companies to and show me the road to success as an EC student.
Hi Samantha, it's as he has addressed the question for me. So basically, it's how well you manage. It's not about being from EC. It's not about being from CSE. The subjects are going to be the same. The interviewers are going to be the same. The online coding test is going to be the same. So the thing is how you manage both of the things together. Like maybe if you try to fix your goals. Like it's not just about maybe you are getting a good CGPA or not. CGPA is also very important to make you eligible for different companies. So whenever you have, like, try to make your goals correct, like whether you want to go for a software company or whether you want to do something else, whether you want to go for core or something. So you should have a clarity in your mind. Now you're in your third semester. So making that short, so whenever you have your examinations, maybe your college examinations like minor or so, minor or major, so make sure that you prepare for them in the last 10 days. So if you prepare for them in the last 10 days, nobody's like, you can get a very good CGPA, very decent CGPA. So that CGPA is also very important. For the rest of the time you have entire year, uh, it is you who have to start the first, like if I was to prioritize, the first thing that should be there in your list, as all of us here would agree, is data structure algorithms. You should be good at like any one language. After that, data structure algorithms. Then as an EC students, like we are now taught subjects like DBMS, like operating systems and OOPS. So make sure whenever these subjects come into your course, you take the full advantage and study them from the point of view that you are preparing it for placement or an internship. And after that, like once you're confident with data structure algorithms, you are able to solve certain questions, then try on shifting to maybe projects. So make one or two good projects. By the start of your fifth semester, companies will start approaching, so make sure you have 1 year in this in your hand. So how wisely you utilize that 1 year, that is going to make all the difference, right?
Thank you, sir.
So, guys, we'll be having only 2 to 3 questions, as Sir has to leave at 6, as all of them have prior engagements. So, I would request Vanishka to raise their query.
So I'm from mechanical branch, as everybody knows that most of the companies don't allow it. So I have to go off campus only for placements if I go. And so my question is, I started C++ and I would like to take suggestion for the online courses that come, like Udemy, etc. Or I should go for free courses available on YouTube. What is the best way to learn programming? And what about web development and React.js and HTML, etc. things that I would like to take the suggestion?
Sir, any of you can give your views regarding the resources for the projects and the domains.
Hi. Yeah. So basically, if we talk about free content available on YouTube or any other paid content that you're looking forward to, I would say like there was there was very less content available when we were doing our second years or third years. But nowadays you have a lot of content. Like I would say start practicing on any platform, and if you're stuck in between, you ping like you copy that question's name and put it on YouTube. You will get three different solutions in all. Like if you're coding in Python, you will get a solution in Python or in Java or in CPP. So there's no dearth of educational content on YouTube. So there are a lot of free resources available for everything, right? When you talk about web, also there are very good courses available on web. If you are into Flutter, so there is a channel known as MTech Viral. So there are different channels for different resources that you want to prepare for. For maybe if you're talking about data structure algorithms, so many people have covered data structure algorithm for free on their YouTube channels. And like if you are if you're doing data structure algorithms in Java, so there's a channel by Pep Coding. So they've covered the entire course for free on YouTube. So you can check out the videos of Pep Coding also. If you're doing in CPP, so you might call him Raj Vikramaditya. So he has his channel, so in which he has covered like many, like almost every topic. He is covering different series. There is a channel by Anuj Bhaiya. He has also covered some of the great things in data structure algorithm. So that these are also good to start with if you're not aiming at purchasing any course. Rather, I would say practice is more important. Whenever you are practicing a question on your own, so that is going to help you with, like, if you're stuck in between, if you're not able to get to the code, you have a lot of sources available for free on to learn on, right? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So we'll be having a last question from Anmol Virdi. Anmol, you can go on.
Okay. Hello, sir. So, can you please express your views regarding careers in DevOps and SRE? Because it's like an emerging field, and I don't think it's much talked about here in NITJ.
Yeah, so SRE is also is a very, I would say, great domain to work with. Although you will not keep hearing about this because like while the people are interviewing, they themselves don't know about this. SREs, the interview pattern and all almost remains same for SREs, whether it's SRE or SWEs. So SWEs generally work with SREs. The main role of SRE is whenever the software developers have developed a product, they keep an eye on a lot of bunch of products, and when they are working in the production. So their main role is to keep ensuring that the things are working fine in the production. So whenever anything breaks, it's their responsibility to look into it. So for the software engineers, they work at a single project or maybe two projects at the same time, but this SREs work on a lot of projects at the same time. So they need to keep understanding of a lot of projects being handled by different teams. So, and like nowadays, a lot of companies have separate roles for this thing. Like in many companies, the software engineers themselves handle the work of SREs. That's why they don't have a separate role for this. But companies like LinkedIn, Google, they have the separate role for SREs. In fact, like this separate role comes out in career page if you look into it. So that's also a quite interesting domain to explore, and it's not like it's anything anyway in any manner less rewarded than software engineers. everything remains the same, even the hiring process.
Thank you, sir, for taking this query. And now I would like to thank all of the three alumni for taking out time and for the gracious presence. Thank you very much, sir. Now you can leave if you do not, if you have some certain engagements before. Thank you, sir. And the attendees can also leave. That's all for the day. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was great. Like great work by OpenGeest to actually get the connection going between your seniors and juniors. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
May I ask a question? It's about